The Vancouver Canucks have had one of their best seasons in franchise history, just behind those impressive 2010 and 2011 years. And so, coming into tonight's matchup against the Flames, they were looking to clinch the Pacific. Getting their starting goaltender back certainly wasn't going to hurt. But part of this year's team has been Filip Hronek, who came over from the Red Wings last season and has made for a great pairing with Hughes. He's been in the league, though, for 7 years, and before tonight, he had played 389 games without ever making the playoffs. That puts him at 7th for most games played without making playoffs amongst all active players. But that doesn't matter, because this year, he's in, and he had an all-time chirp for the Flames.
You have holidays in 2 days.
But for some context, this came after what had been a frustrating game for the Flames. Because right from the opening draw, the Canucks came out and were certainly the better team in the early goings. However, midway through the first, it was Kadri along the boards and Joshua would get called for elbowing. Now, in reality, clearly this is not an elbow, but in real time, that's what the ref saw, so the Flames got a power play. And on that power play, Kuzmenko on net and it rang off the post as they were this close to this being a potentially very different game. But coming back, it was Blueger up for Myers with space and he scores. Short-handed, it's his second shorty of the year as the Canucks would take the early lead. Brutal for the Flames. The Canucks would then kill that one off and immediately came back. Mikheyev to Pettersson centers and they scored again. Not 90 seconds after the first, it's Hoglander with the tap in, his 24th of the year to make it a 2-goal game, which they would hold heading into the middle frame, where they were dangerous right off the hop. And sure enough, it took not 2 minutes, an Ottoman rush, Joshua keeps it, and he scores. Again, it's blocker side with his 18th of the season, and they scored their 3rd straight. Pair that with Demko doing his thing on the other end as he made a few solid saves to keep it a 3-goal game, meant that the Flames were growing increasingly irritated. Here was Pachal taking a run at Miller, doing what he does, which of course got tempers growing hotter, all of which eventually led to this. Hoglander with a cross-check on Pachal, who snapped his head back, which made it look like it had maybe been to the face. So now, of course, everyone was on high alert. They came together, mixed it up, Rooney going after Hronek, really trying to get at him here. And while a couple of shots were thrown, the officials eventually broke it all up, and the call on the ice, a 5-minute major, which thankfully got reviewed because this, of course, is not a 5-minute major. But in the meanwhile, it meant the guys had time to talk. And that is where we got this beauty.
You have holidays in 2 days. Let's go.
Oh, okay. You're open for the chirp about golf.
I mean, first of all, risky business cutting to a hot mic during this, but secondly, what do you even say to this? Now again, it's not like Hronek has any playoff experience himself, which means he knows exactly how sorry he feels, I guess. But with that said, after the review was finally over, it indeed got changed to a 2-minute minor, as it should be, some extras as well, but ultimately the Flames got the power play, where Kadri had a great chance, but in the end, the Canucks would once again kill it off, taking that 3-goal lead into the 3rd and final period, where the Flames came out and definitely pushed harder, nearly squeezing one in here, unbelievably close. I can't believe that didn't go in, but midway through the period, it was Kadri to Pachal, walks down, and he scores. Their first of the game, his first as a Flame, but his 2nd of the year to put the Flames now within reach. And they certainly picked it up, getting a few great chances. And then a turnover at their blue line leads to Miller all alone, and with the dagger, it's JT Miller, blocker side, scoring his 37th of the year to put the dagger in. And while this one was all but over, Anderson and Hoglander got tangled up at mid-ice as they wrestled each other down, but the Canucks ultimately finishing it off would take this one 4-1 with win number 50 for just the 3rd time in their history. They also clinched the Pacific Division title in the process. But yeah, that's about it for this one. Thank you guys as always for watching. I appreciate it very much, and I'll see you in the next one.